Hey everyone, it's Mickey from Lair Academy. I just want to show you a quick project that I've been working on, and this project actually has to deal with translations. I don't really have a name for it right now, so it's just kind of sitting in the void, and I'm not really sure what to do with it, hence the reason why we're doing this video. So let's just get to the bread and butter of the application. What it allows you to do is create a bunch of projects and handle the translations with these projects. So I've been going through and kind of translating this project, meaning if I come over here, I have a bunch of different languages. And if I click on one, you can see that pretty much almost everything is being translated. I mean, I still have some more work to do, but I can check French. I can also do German and switch back to English. Now, I just want to show you kind of quickly how this all works. If we do a new project, and let's do Lair Academy, we'll pick on Lair Academy. In here, within this project, we can have supported languages, the categories, and then we can see a list of phrases here. So if we add a language, I want to support English, and I also want to add a new language, and let's support Spanish. So I have the two languages that I want to support on Lair Academy, and now I have to add a category for those languages. Now the reason that we're using categories is that's just kind of how Laravel runs, and specifically if we're using any plural translations, we'd need to use a category. And by what I mean by that is, say, this is a funny example, but say we are trying to figure out how many apples to display to the user. Well, we either have 0 apples with an S, or we have 1 apple, or we have many apples. So pluralization would happen in the categories. If we're just using the other way of doing the translations, which if we open a new tab, it would be like this. Translate this. This does not currently support using plurals, so we want to make sure that we are aware of that. Okay, so in the categories, actually let me load that back up. By default, you can see underneath resources, language, and then English, we have auth, pagination, passwords, and then everything for the validation rules. Now, this is just the way that Laravel works, and we're going to replicate one of these files. So let's replicate the auth.php. So in here, we'll give it the category name of authentication and auth.php. And now if we go into auth, we can add our translations. So if we add a translation is looking for the key. If we switch back to Sublime, we can grab the key of failed. And once again, let's grab the phrase. So we have key and then phrase. And I'm going to throw the phrase also in the English version here. And because of my bad translator, I'm using Google, and I'm just going to translate these credentials do not match our records. Okay, I'm going to hit save, and I'm going to add another translation. Let's add the throttle in here. And let's also grab the throttles phrase, add it in the English and the English word phrase, and now let's translate it. Alright, now I'm totally not sure if that is correct, but we will just go with that. And actually you can see here, we want to make sure that that is right. So let's put in the number 5, and then we will just come in here and we will take this out for seconds. Okay, so we're going to hit save. And if we go back to the project, you can see that now we have 2 phrases in here, and our phrases show up the bottom. So this is just a quick kind of look at how we're doing to see if we have the same phrase in multiple categories, so we can just kind of not have everything all over the place. Now what we can do is we can export either the categories or we can export the language. Let me show you both. If we export the categories, we'll get a zip file. And within the zip file, we're going to get the languages that we support. So we have English, and we also have Spanish. And if I open a new folder here, and I extract these to the folder, just want to open them up in Sublime Text here. Let's choose the ES here, so the Spanish. Just drag this in. You can see that we have the key, and then we have the phrase here. If we look at seconds, that worked just fine. We also have the accents, or whatever you may call them, in Spanish. And the exact same goes for the English version. We can drag and drop it in, and it just looks fine. Now, the one thing that I wanted to do is if we switch back, you can see that we can also export these files. Let's choose to export all, and once again, we'll get a zip file, and this zip file contains 2 JSON files. If we throw them into the folder that I just made here, just so we can look at them, and let's open up the Spanish one. You can see that we have the English phrase followed by the Spanish phrase. So what this is doing for us is if we were to use the translation in our Blade file for something like this, and we had our application set to Spanish, it would come in and look this up and grab the Spanish translation for it. So what we have to do here is if we wanted these in our application, we would just throw them in the language folder. But this is just an example. So that is pretty much everything I want to show you, quick and easy. So basically, just to sum everything up, it's a project management tool that allows us to manage the translations and the categories that we need. So validation.php. So instead of having a whole bunch of files and going through and looking at them all, we can just basically come to a website and say, okay, well, what's in my validation? And if I make a new key here, and we just do something like this, if we go back to our project, I can see, oh, hey, I have the phrase here. It's in validation, so I can choose whether or not to use parallelization, or I can just export all of these. I can take my JSON files, throw them into my project, and everything will be automatically updated. Anyway, thanks for watching.